Imagine waking up, grabbing your phone, and realizing that the future is already staring back at you. We are not talking about blurry renders today. We are not talking about sketchy rumors from some random forum post that no one has ever heard of. We are talking about the real deal. Actual hardware. The leak floodgates for the Samsung Galaxy S26 Ultra have officially burst open, and what we are seeing is completely changing the narrative for Samsung's next flagship. Usually, we have to wait months for this kind of clarity, but the timeline has shifted. If you thought you knew what to expect from the next Galaxy, you need to think again, because the physical evidence tells a very different story. Let's start with something that sounds incredibly boring on the surface, but is actually hiding the biggest secrets of this entire launch. I'm talking about the SIM tray. I know, it sounds ridiculous to get excited about a tiny piece of plastic and metal, but stay with me. The legendary leaker Ice Universe has just dropped live, real-life images of the Galaxy S26 Ultra SIM tray. This is tangible proof of the production line moving, and this tiny component confirms a few massive details. First off, for those of you who panic about the death of physical media and connectivity, take a breath. The images confirm that dual physical SIM support is still alive and well. Of course, Samsung will likely keep this region-dependent, but seeing the hardware exist is a huge win for power users who refuse to rely solely on eSIMs. But the SIM tray leaks reveal something far more important than just connectivity. They have basically locked in the entire color palette for the S26 Ultra. We are seeing multiple finishes that give us our first real look at the aesthetic direction Samsung is taking. We have the classics, obviously. There is a standard black and something called black shadow, which likely has a deeper, matte finish. Then we have white and white shadow, keeping things clean and minimal. But then things get colorful. We're looking at blue and a new Galaxy Blue. And finally, the color that everyone is going to be talking about, violet and ultraviolet. According to the insiders, violet is not just another option on the list. It is shaping up to be the absolute star of the show. This is the hero color. This is the one you're going to see on every billboard, every YouTube thumbnail, and every TV commercial when this phone launches. Samsung is betting big on this shade, and honestly, if the leaks are accurate, it looks stunning. It is bold without being flashy, and it screams premium. There's also a whisper about an orange version coming later as an online exclusive, which is classic Samsung, but for now, all eyes are on that ultraviolet finish. It feels like Samsung is finally moving away from those washed-out, safe colors we have seen for a few years and is getting ready to give us something with real character. Now, let's shift gears to something that will definitely cause some arguments in the comment section. We need to talk about power, specifically charging speeds. This has been a sore spot for Samsung fans for years, and the latest leaks from Ahmed Quater paint a picture that is both frustrating and exciting, depending on which model you're looking at. Let's get the bad news out of the way first. If you were hoping the base Galaxy S26 would finally get a supercharge upgrade, you're going to be disappointed. The updated info suggests the base model is sticking with 25-watt charging. In 2026, that is a tough pill to swallow when competitors are pushing 100 watts or more. It feels like Samsung is purposely holding the base model back to push people toward the more expensive tiers. The middle child, the Galaxy S26 Plus, seems to be playing it safe too. It is reportedly sticking with a 4,900 mAh battery and 45-watt charging. It is reliable, it is decent, but it is not groundbreaking. It is exactly what we have right now. But then we get to the Ultra. This is where Samsung finally stops holding back. The Galaxy S26 Ultra is expected to make the jump to 60-watt fast charging paired with a massive 5,000 mAh battery. This is the upgrade we have been begging for. Going from 45 watts to 60 watts might not sound like a quantum leap on paper, but in daily use, specifically for that 0 to 50% dash, it makes a huge difference. Finally, the Ultra actually feels ultra in the charging department. It suggests Samsung has reworked the cooling system or the battery chemistry to handle higher sustained heat, which is great news for longevity. But if you think charging speeds are the highlight, you haven't heard about the private screen. This is where things get genuinely futuristic. Ice Universe dropped a cryptic but heavy hint about this. He basically said that if you don't understand it yet, just wait for the demo video because it will click instantly. This is not just a slightly brighter panel or thinner bezels. This is a fundamental change in how the display works. We are likely looking at next-generation screen technology straight from Samsung Display's R&D labs. Think back to those crazy concepts we see at events like Mobile World Congress. Screens that can control viewing angles electronically to prevent people sitting next to you from reading your texts. We suspect the private screen is a consumer-ready version of that privacy technology. Imagine hitting a toggle in your quick settings and the screen becoming invisible to anyone not looking directly at it head-on. No more buying cheap, dark privacy screen protectors that ruin your display quality. This would be built right into the glass and pixel structure. If Samsung pulls this off, it is the kind of feature that feels like magic, the kind of feature that Apple users will be jealous of until the iPhone catches up 3 years later. It solves a real-world problem, privacy in public spaces, without needing extra accessories. And the good news keeps coming for the power users. If you're the type of person who keeps 50 apps open, edits video on your phone, or pushes mobile gaming to the limit, the S26 Ultra is being built for you. The leaks coming from Ahmed Quader are short, confident, and direct. He is stating that the S26 Ultra will come with 16 gigabytes of RAM standard on the higher tiers, with storage options going all the way up to 1 terabyte. The way this information was dropped, no fluff, just confirmation, is a massive signal. Why does 16 gigabytes of RAM matter? It's not just for bragging rights. It's for artificial intelligence. We know Samsung is pushing Galaxy AI hard. On-device AI needs memory. It needs fast, accessible RAM to process language models, edit photos in real time, and handle live translation without lagging. By bumping the RAM up to 16 gigabytes, Samsung is basically future-proofing this device for the next 5 years of AI development. They are ensuring that when the software gets heavier and more complex in 2027 or 2028, this phone won't choke. It turns the S26 Ultra from a smartphone into a legitimate pocket computer that can handle multitasking workflows that would make a laptop sweat. We also have to look at the timeline. According to Ice Universe, we are entering the intense phase. The next 2 weeks are going to be absolute chaos in the best way possible. We are moving past the phase of vague text tweets and entering the era of high-quality renders, marketing assets, and official-looking posters. This is usually the point of no return. Once these assets start leaking, the phone is effectively finalized. Samsung isn't changing the design now. What we see in the next few days is exactly what you will be holding in your hand soon. This rapid-fire succession of leaks, the SIM tray, the charging specs, the private screen tech, the RAM boost, connects to form a clear picture. Samsung isn't playing defense this year. For the last couple of generations, the S series has felt a bit iterative. A slightly faster chip here, a slightly flatter screen there. But the S26 Ultra feels different. It feels like they're trying to widen the gap between the good phones and the best phone. They are making the Ultra distinct, powerful, and packed with proprietary tech that you just can't get on the base models. In my honest opinion, this is the most exciting direction Samsung has taken in years. The S26 Ultra is shaping up to be a monster. The decision to finally push charging speeds past the 45-watt barrier shows they are listening to enthusiasts. The introduction of hardware-level privacy features like the private screen shows they are still capable of genuine innovation, not just spec bumps. And the commitment to 16 gigabytes of RAM is a love letter to everyone who wants a phone that lasts for years. If the ultraviolet color looks half as good as the leaks suggest, it's going to be an instant classic design-wise. While the base S26 users might feel left behind with that 25-watt charging, Ultra buyers are eating well this year. This feels like a return to form, a device that earns the name Ultra in every single category. We are just scratching the surface, and the next 2 weeks are going to be wild. I will be here breaking down every single image, every spec sheet, and every rumor that drops. You do not want to miss what is coming next, because if this is just the start, the full reveal is going to be mind-blowing. If you like this deep dive, make sure you subscribe, share this video with your tech-loving friends, and hit that bell icon so you're the first to know when the next big leak drops. I'll see you very soon with the next update.